It's just a little over a week into 2016, but already tensions are rising in several parts of the world, threatening global security. So for a look at what that could mean for this region in the year ahead, NHK senior political commentator Masayo Nakajima sat down with a security expert. Evan Medeiros was a White House advisor on Asia and senior director of the National Security Council.
What do you think will be the biggest security risk in the world in 2016, and how will it affect Japan?
The security concerns that I'm worried about in 2016 are issues like cross-strait relations following the upcoming election in Taiwan, continued instability in the South China Sea as many different players seek to position themselves to advance their maritime claims and their maritime rights, and then the perennial issue of North Korea. So I think we should watch the Korean Peninsula very closely. And all three of those issues touch directly on Japanese security interests and the interests of the U.S.-Japan alliance.
China seems to be insisting that China and the U.S. are the two great powers vying for control of Asia-Pacific region. What do you think about that?
I spent 6 years in the White House. I know how President Obama and his top foreign policy advisors think about the Asia-Pacific. China is a big power in Asia, but the U.S. does not buy into the G2 concept that the U.S. and China will divide up Asia. The U.S. simply doesn't believe in that. We believe in a more multipolar point of view that puts our alliances at the center, because the United States is a big country with a lot of very heavy responsibilities. And what the U.S. needs and wants is capable partners that, importantly, are also willing to work with the U.S. to deal with both traditional security challenges and non-traditional ones. And major allies like Japan play a critical role. U.S. policy toward China has always been a mix of competition and pushing back on areas where we disagree with China, and then cooperating with China on areas where our interests overlap. Climate change is an obvious example.
Well, let's talk about U.S. presidential election. How would the result of the election affect U.S. security policy?
Foreign policy is not a major issue. To the extent that it's a major issue, Asia doesn't figure prominently. As you know, ISIS and Syria and the Middle East figure more prominently. What I believe is that there is a strong bipartisan consensus on both sides that the U.S. should remain deeply engaged in the Asia-Pacific, that U.S. allies are an important priority, a top priority for the U.S. in the Asia-Pacific, that the U.S. needs to continually modernize its military force posture,